Hi, boys and girls. It's me, Mr. Monica. Today I'm going to read you a story called The Little Hen and the Giant. This book is written by Maria Polushkin, and I'm reading it with permission from Scholastic Books. The Little Hen and the Giant. Kurochka, the little brown hen, was angry. Every day she laid an egg, and almost every day her egg was taken away from her. All the eggs were given to the giant. Everyone was afraid of the giant because he was big and he was mean. He hated everyone and everything, except eggs. "I want all the eggs," he roared to the farmer. "If I don't get all the eggs, I will squash you, or worse." Well, now I can see why everybody's afraid of the giant. Kurochka scolded and complained. "How am I going to hatch my chicks if I can't keep my eggs?" But no one listened. No one cared. Everyone was too afraid of the giant. One day, Kurochka looked at all the empty nests. She thought about all the eggs that could have been chicks, and she felt sad. Then she thought about the giant, and she felt angry. She felt the anger growing inside her and getting bigger and bigger until she felt as big as a giant herself. Then she shouted, "I'm going to get that giant. I'm going to fix him good." And without a moment's hesitation, she marched out of the barnyard. As she walked down the road, she met Fox. "Where are you going, dearie?" asked Fox. "I'm going to get rid of that fool giant who takes my eggs," said Kurochka. "You're going to get rid of the giant? Why, my dear, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard." Fox laughed, and the more she laughed, the angrier Kurochka became. "Don't you laugh at me, you lame-brained vixen," said Kurochka. "Why not?" said Fox, still giggling. "You're very funny." "If you don't stop laughing right this minute," said Kurochka, "I will just gobble you up." "Gobble me up? Gobble me up?" said Fox, and she fell down laughing. But while Fox laughed, Kurochka opened her beak very wide and swallowed her with one swallow. The road wound through many fields and finally led into a deep forest. In the forest, Kurochka met Wolf. "And where are you going on such a lovely morning?" asked Wolf. "I'm going to get rid of the giant. He's taking all the eggs. I need them. No eggs, no chicks, you know." "Do you know how big that giant is?" "That giant is giant." "You must be a very silly little hen," said Wolf. I don't think Kurochka's going to like that. Kurochka started to get angry. "Look, Wolf, you'd better not call me silly, and you'd better not get me mad, or I will gobble you up." "Ho, ho! You are a silly little hen," said Wolf. "You'd better go back to the barnyard where you belong. What do you care about a couple of eggs anyway? You can always make some more." Well, that made Kurochka angrier still. She opened her beak and shut her eyes. Big Gray Wolf got a surprise. Kurochka swallowed him right up. Kurochka walked on through the woods, paying no attention to the pine cones, bugs, berries, moss, and mushrooms that were all around her. She was thinking about how she was going to get rid of that giant. Suddenly, there was a great crashing noise. Bear fell out of the tree, his face and paws covered with honey. He fell right in front of Kurochka. "What now?" said Kurochka. "Can't you see I'm in a hurry?" Bear had been eating honey all day and was so happy that not even falling out of the tree could make him feel bad. "Hi, Hen," he said. "Want some honey?" "No, thank you," said Kurochka. "But I want you out of my way quick." "What's your hurry, Henny honey?" said Bear, giggling. "Look," said Kurochka, "do you want me to swallow you too?" "A hen swallow a bear?" "Sure," said Bear. "I don't care." Kurochka opened her beak and swallowed Bear. Kurochka walked and walked. The road ended, and she found that she was standing on the shore of a big lake. She looked at the water stretching all the way over to the other shore. There seemed to be no way to get across. "Out of my way, lake," she commanded. "I am going to get rid of the giant. I have swallowed fox and wolf and bear. If you don't get out of my way right this minute, I will gobble you up too." Kurochka stood and waited, but the lake just sparkled in the sun. Well, then she opened her beak very wide and swallowed the lake in one gulp. Kurochka walked clear over to the other shore on dry land. The giant was in his cave planning his menu for the week. Eggs, eggs, brown and white, delicious, yummy thingies. His mouth watered just thinking about all the wonderful meals that he would have. Stuffed eggs, scrambled eggs, fried eggs, poached eggs, omelets, eggs Benedict, souffles, custards, egg creams, eggnog, egg rolls. How will I ever decide? When Kurochka reached the giant's cave, she hid herself behind a big rock and shouted, "Roses are red, violets are blue, eggs are for hatching, they're too good for you." "What in tarnation?" grumbled the giant as he went out of the cave. "Who said that?" he shouted, looking around and seeing no one. "Come on, show yourself, you sniveling coward. I'll make mincemeat of you." "You'll have to catch me first," shouted Kurochka, still hiding behind the rock, and she opened her beak and spit out Fox. Fox took one look at the giant and ran full speed into the woods. The giant ran after her. All day long the giant chased that fox and could not catch her. That night, the giant came home exhausted. The next day, Kurochka stood behind the rock and shouted, "Violets are blue, Roses are red. The giant's a creep and has holes in his head. Oh, blast it all, roared the giant. Is there no rest for the weary? He ran out of the cave and looked around, but there was no one in sight. Where are you, you lily-livered critter? Come out so I can make hash of you, he shouted. Oh, no, you won't, shouted Kurochka, and she opened her beak wide and spit out wolf and bear. Wolf ran off in one direction, bear ran off in the other. The giant was so mad he didn't know which one to chase. He ran back and forth all day and came home at night exhausted. Early the next morning, Kurochka stood behind the rock and shouted, Roses are red, violets are blue, garbage smells bad, the giant does too. Great grungy gazook, screamed the giant. Now I am mad. And he rushed out of his cave. As he was looking around, Kurochka stepped out from behind the rock. The giant was surprised. You? A mere hen? An insignificant chicken? A ridiculous fowl? You dare to come and disturb my rest? Kurochka looked him straight in the eyes and shouted, Giant, you have stolen your last egg. You should have left some, but you left none. Now I am going to get rid of you once and for all. The giant chuckled and said, Come here, little chick. I'll stuff you with tarragon and roast you on a spit. And he started after Kurochka. Kurochka jumped into the big rock. Oh, I'm sorry. Kurochka jumped onto the big rock, not into the big rock. Good readers have to read the correct words. Kurochka jumped onto the big rock and shouted, Don't take another step, for it will surely be your last. But the giant didn't listen and kept coming closer and closer until Kurochka opened her beak very wide and spit out the lake. I forgot about the lake, did you? The lake tumbled out in great torrents. It filled the space between Kurochka and the giant and then lay still, deep and sparkling. The giant ran right into the lake and sank to the bottom like a stone. Kurochka hopped down from the big rock and went home to hatch some eggs. The end. The Little Hen and the Giant. I hope you enjoyed today's story, my friends. I will see you very soon.